A very good morning to you. Thank you for joining us here on Global Television. We are always delighted to welcome you to Global Morning. We're live in Abuja, Nigeria's capital. We apologize for bringing Global Morning behind schedule. It was occasioned by some technical glitches that were unforeseen. We appreciate your patience and understanding. I just did that on behalf of myself and Joe Manson. I'm not saying you were the cause. I'm only saying that you and I are taking responsibility on behalf of the entire team here at Global Television.
Yes, we are, and we do apologize. And thank you all for being glued to your TV and waiting on the program. I am Jumai Manson, and it's great to be here doing this side by side with my amazing co-host that wears nice glasses, Uyakbom Huigwe.
I'm always delighted when you say that, but what more can I say? It's a big conversation we have on the program today. As always,
Yes,
it's going to be engaging, very interactive. We'll talk about politics, talk about national development as well. We'll talk about governance. And speaking of which, by the way, we realized that yesterday was quite, maybe two words, dramatic and intriguing.
Yes, it was.
Yes, with the, as it were now, the, not just indictment already had happened, but yesterday it was the sentencing of Mama Saleh,
Yes.
the former Minister of Power, who we understand was sentenced to 75 years in prison yesterday.
That's a long time.
Yes, it was a bunch of counts against him. Judge says the sentencing will run concurrently, starting from when he was arrested by the FCC and all of that. But what makes it really interesting, like I highlighted, is the fact that the man was not in court a few days ago when he was indicted. The man was only called yesterday when judgment was read. But the judge was very detailed about the delivery of that judgment. Right. The specifics were, you couldn't pretend about them.
No.
Right. Says, look, wherever this man is found,
The day he's caught,
he must be arrested and must be rendered, so to say, to the Nigerian Correctional Service. Because whether you like it or not, as far as the law can see now, in the eye of the law, he is supposed to be in prison already. So if you find him at Anamala Sports, you find him in Jumai's village or somewhere.
You had to call my village.
Well, I didn't mention the name of the village. Okay. Or somewhere having a handshake of some kind with you must ensure that you report him to the authorities and have him handed over to the Nigeria Correctional Service. But you see, beyond yesterday's judgment, so there was something the judge said that for me was quite humbling. He said, look, you didn't care about legacy. You didn't care about the people you were supposed to serve because what you were given, this is me picking my words to paraphrase, was privilege of service, but you abused it. And the interesting thing is, during my last week, the same judge said, look, this man is not in court. He's supposed to be here. And then his lawyer says, well, I can't even put a finger where he is. I have no idea as to his whereabouts. And the judge says, no, you can't tell me that. The news is everywhere. We saw him jumping all over the place.
Exactly.
He had even gone to indicate interest in running for governor in his home state of Taraba. So how then do you tell me a man who is in the public's eye is nowhere to be found, is at large? So when you look at all of this, you realize that beyond the offenses or crimes he obviously had committed, he also had offended the courts.
Yes,
he also has slighted the courts. He has shown contempt for the courts. As such, it's a case of making a bad situation worse.
Yes, he has really made a bad situation worse. And I like the fact that the judge, Justice Omotosho, stood on his grounds and he made everyone understand that no one is above the law.
Right.
You're not. If you are found guilty, you will be persecuted and charged. Definitely. So it's very important that we all understand that it's not the same old. And now, if you commit an offense, you will definitely get your jail time and you will serve. And I like the fact that the judge is very entailed when it comes to this particular issue, that he realized that even when the legal counsel came up and said he has no idea where the whereabouts of his client is, he said, no, we are in the know. He is in the public eye. He's all over in our faces, and he even wants to contest. So it shows that the judge is detailed and he understands procedure. And yes, he will serve his time. It's very important because he didn't. When you talk about the legacy that he left behind, it's not something we are all proud of, or he should not be proud of it at all. It's just unfortunate. But at the long run, I like the fact that his properties are going to be confiscated all in Abuja and all of that. So there is a procedure, and it will be followed, and it will be followed through.
You know, Juma, you and I have talked about the power situation in our country. I mean, electricity bans, A, B, C, whatever, time and again. And for a man like this who had an opportunity to, I won't say change the sector or perform some sort of miracle, but at least to contribute. To leave it at a much better place than he met it.
Exactly.
And then to bungle such a chance, such a golden opportunity is quite disturbing, because it has now at this point become a public interest issue. But again, look at what is involved. We're looking at 33.8 billion naira.
That's a lot.
You know, like somebody said yesterday at about dinner time, you may say, well, he didn't do this all alone. It wasn't a case of a lone wolf. But as long as the judge or the court can see, or the law can see, he is the principal culprit.
Yes, he is. Evidence.
Right. You were the one to whom, the one with whom we saddled this responsibility. So if something went south at any point in time, we will primarily hold you accountable.
Of course.
If anyone else was an accessory or some sort of played an auxiliary role, as it were, is secondary to us. So it's just to say that for us, the lesson should probably be that when you have a chance to serve in any capacity, it may not even be in the public service, it may be in a small private entity, how you serve matters. And you mentioned something about how that no one is above the law, and that's the way it works. And you know, somebody said on Facebook yesterday that to think that Mr. Saleh is an APC member.
Yes, he is.
A very high-ranking one for that.
Very high-ranking.
One who even has enough money to buy APC expression of interest and nomination forms.
Exactly.
I mean, no small, as they say.
At all,
right?
he's not.
So he says it will appear this is indicative of not just the APC, but the president's body language of saying that, look, we are not going to shield even members of our party.
Corrupt.
If the law enforcement agencies indict you and they are able to advance enough evidence against you, by all means, we wash our hands off of the case, we allow the law take its course.
Yeah, and that's the transparency, accountability I always talk about when it comes to these issues. And it's just unfortunate that when we find ourselves, heading an appointment or in a political office, we only think about our pocket. I'm telling you, if Mamman Saleh would have done the needful when it comes to the power sector, no one would talk about this 33 million naira issue. No one will talk about it. As long as he has played his own part, he has done it to a point that it is much more better than where we were at that point. No one would have been talking about it. But you see, people are just... they concentrate on what they can gain and not how they can serve. Forgetting the fact that once you are appointed in a political office, you're automatically a servant and you have to serve the people. It's a win-win situation. It's all about putting you there in order to give back to us. It's very important. But some people or individuals do not understand it. And I think this should be, maybe will I call it an example for other people to see and adhere to, and know that, okay, if I'm placed in a political office, I will do my best, try as much as possible to improve where I might not get it 100%, but at least 60, 70, I'm good.
Right. Well, there's so much to say in this regard, several talking points actually, but I'm sure Juma would have us have breakfast maybe sometime soon, or are we set for that? Very
importantly, we should have breakfast. We've talked about this political matter and all of this money and all of that, court judgment, and so I'm sure we're all hungry at about this time.
Right.
So next on the segment on Global Mornings, Taste and Texture, stay tuned.
Hello everyone and welcome to Taste and Texture. Today we are going to be preparing boiled plantain and egg sauce. For the boiled plantain, we'll be needing the following: ripe fresh plantain, knife and clean pot, water. Here is the process of preparing boiled plantain. Wash and cut or dice your fresh ripe plantain into few pieces. In a clean pot, add your diced and washed ripe plantains. Add water, salt and cover to cook for a few minutes. Drop and drain the water and then After a few minutes, peel the boiled plantain and set aside. For the egg sauce, we will be needing a few fresh pieces of raw eggs. In a clean bowl, break your raw eggs and whisk. Get your clean frying pan and add oil to fry. Add your pepper, mix, and stir for a few minutes. Then add Maggi and other seasoning of your choice. Then stir and add corned beef, optional. Also stir your already whisked eggs and finally add parsley and stir it. Our boiled plantain and egg sauce is ready. That's it on this episode of the show. I hope you will try this recipe at home. Join me again on Taste and Texture next time. I am Sadia Yakubu. See you again.
All right, you're welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that yummalicious segment of Taste and Texture, plantain and scrambled eggs, delicious combo there. Hope you will try it. Ooh, I'm sure you're going to try it.
I will. The part that got me interested was at the very start when I saw salt being added to the ripe plantain with the peeling. I mean, still the skin still around it.
Yeah, it's nutritious. It's very nutritious, and then it's better when you do it that way. Then, of course, you have to wash it with salt first of all, and then you cut it and put it in the pot with water and a little bit of salt for taste. And then when you're done with all of that, all the fiber that has to do, all the nutritional values around the peel of the plantain goes into the plantain proper.
Instead of wasting
all of those fiber and all of that. So once it cools down, you open it up and then you serve, and it's really nice. Then you peeling before you let the fiber and all the nutritional value go into it, and so you can have it. And
apparently, you have an amazing kitchen.
Okay.
Right. Well, let's make progress, everyone. Ramsey Enoch Agbo is standing by with Heart to Heart Inspirational.
Hello and welcome to another beautiful day right here. It is Heart to Heart Inspirational. And of course, my name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Your voice matters. That's what we want to look at today. Your voice matters. Okay. It doesn't matter. When we say your voice matters, what are we talking about? Is it that you are talkative? Is it that you are loquacious? Is it that you are a lingua franca? You can speak a lot of languages. That's what we mean when we say your voice matters. A lot of voices have gone down the drain today. A lot of good voices, all right? When we say your voice matters, are we talking about the fact that you can sing or you are a poet? No, it's beyond that. Let me give you something right now. Silence has cost the world many solutions. Somewhere, someone needed your voice, but you never knew. But one of the things that have stopped a lot of people, a lot of voices from being heard, a lot of opinions from being shared, a lot of talents from being manifested is fear. Fear of what will happen if it doesn't go my way. My voice, are you sure my idea is going to count? Are you sure my opinion matters? Your voice is needed at several places for several reasons, but fear convinced you to stay quiet. You see what fear does? What is fear? In the actual sense of it, let me define fear for you. Fear is spelled F-E-A-R. Let me give you the acronym of fear. Fear is false evidence appearing to be real. That is false evidence appearing real. F for fear, E for evidence, A for appearing, then R for real. It is not real, but it's appearing to be real. You see, you've been quiet because of fear. You've been quiet because of maybe you feel you're going to be embarrassed, whereas you have a very good idea. Some people can never share their ideas. All right. I'm not saying you should share your vision to dream killers. That's not what I'm saying. Please, let's get this right, because I tell people all the time, it's not everybody you share your dreams with. If you are in doubt, please go and ask Joseph, his own brother. You remember what they did to him. I'm not saying you should share your dream with every Dick and Harry. Your plans, go and share your plans with everyone you see on the road. In fact, people, it's not even good to talk too much. Anywhere you go, you are just like a typewriter. 200 words in 1 minute. Habba. That's not the kind of voicing, speaking that I'm talking about. All right? Your voice carries story. It carries your experience. And it carries your perspective. And a lot of people will tell you that a closed mouth is a closed destiny. A closed mouth is a closed destiny. A lot of people cannot be helped because, number one, they don't know the right people to even talk to. A lot of people are talking to the wrong persons per time. First of all, you need to know where and when your voice is supposed to be heard. You need to know where and when you need to speak. You don't speak everywhere. You don't talk everywhere. You should not be predictable. When people see you, they should not say, you don't they come. We know. Then before you know what is happening, you landed the venue and 200 words per minute. And you're not even making sense with what you're saying. It's embarrassing. That's not the kind of voice that I'm talking about. The voice that comes with quality. The voice that comes with perspective to every situation. The voice that comes with an experience that someone can learn from and become successful in life. A voice that carries stories that stands the test of time. Do you know that you go to some places and you share your story or maybe an experience or a perspective and somebody catch their vision? Yes. Somebody might just be around there. This is somebody that has been thinking, all right, of what to do in life. What do I even need to do in life? What am I in life for? Some people are even thinking suicide because they don't know what to do. Life doesn't mean anything to them. Then you come there, you begin to share stories, you begin to share testimonies, you begin to say some kind of positive things, and these people begin to realize themselves. They begin to discover themselves, because in every word that you speak, somebody is hearing, and every word that you hear per time have an impact in your life, either negatively or positively. And that's the reason I tell people all the time, it's not everyone you listen to. Be careful what you hear all the time. Be careful who you give your ears to. Be careful who you share your moments with. What you have survived qualifies you to speak. What you've learned position you to help other people. You don't need to be a perfect person to be impactful. You don't need perfection to be impactful. That thing you are hiding, that story you are hiding, that idea you are hiding, that inspiration you are hiding could be something that can change somebody's life forever. A lot of us are supposed to be making impacts with our voices, but we are hidden. We are trampled in fear. You need authenticity, as a matter of fact. Let me give you an instance. This is just an illustration. A candle, we all know what a candle is. A candle doesn't just lose light by lighting another candle. All right? You get that. You light a candle, for instance, then you use that candle to light another candle. The first candle that you use in lighting the second candle does not lose its light. That is impact there. It has made impact, but it never affected it in any way. Now, your voice doesn't diminish others. It multiplies impact. That is, I'm talking about a positive voice, all right? A positive voice. Okay, there are some people that if they come and they speak, you hear wisdom. You spend 2 minutes with some persons. When they want to leave, you say, you'll be feeling bad. I wish this person can stay with me a little more time. Because these are people that their voices multiply impact. Maybe you knew something before. Why am I saying this? Let me establish this. I'm saying all of this so that you know the kind of people you listen to. You know the kind of voices you listen to. And you on your own part should know that your voice needs to be heard. Except you know the import of it, you will just keep quiet where you are supposed to speak. You are not making impact. It doesn't diminish you if you make impact. It doesn't affect you, but then it lightens somebody's word. Maybe to somebody that is downcasted, somebody that is about committing suicide, somebody who is feeling lonely, just a word from you can make somebody's day. Like I was telling someone some times back, just a smile, good morning, how you doing, can make someone feel big. Exchange of smile. By the time you smile to someone and the person smiles back, you know, it's have a way of making people feel good, of setting people's day, a good pace for people's day. Stop minimizing your stories. Speak, even when your voice is shaky. Share what you know now, all right? Share what you know now. Because maybe by the time you want to speak it the next time, it may not be as valuable as it is when that inspiration comes. All right? When you have the leading to do it, go ahead and do it. Maybe you want to start a business, for instance, and there is someone around you you need to speak to. You know, don't hold it back. If you have the leading to speak to the person, go ahead and do it. Your voice, okay? Your voice is someone else's breakthrough, in case you don't know. All right? Your voice is someone else's breakthrough, but you may not know that. Okay? Your voice, your own voice, is somebody else's breakthrough. Open your mouth. Speak the truth. Speak it out. The world is waiting for your sound. The world is waiting for your manifestation. The world is waiting for you to let that thing out of you. Especially when you know it's inspiring. Especially when you know it's going to stop someone from maybe committing suicide. Because a lot of people are confused in this generation. They don't even know what to do. And that's why you have a lot of photocopy. We have few originals. A lot of people are duplicates of other people's ideas, of other people's lifestyle, of other people's opinion. But you got a voice. Your voice can shape somebody's destiny forever. What are you waiting for? What are you scared of? Fear have stopped a lot of people from doing so many things, from taking a particular step they need to take. But today, I want to charge you. I want to inspire you. I want to speak to your heart that your voice, there are people today. Let me say this. I think I need to say this because you don't know who is listening to what you're saying. In that meeting, in that gathering, all right, you don't know if your destiny helper is there. Maybe a contribution that you want to make as you're trying to make sense on time, it will give the person by your side, all right, an inspiration, an acumen, okay, to become what they have been planning to be. Your voice might be a witness to what the Spirit is telling them, to what their mind is telling them, to what their instinct is telling them. So speak it out. Stop holding it back. Congratulations, everyone, listening to the sound of my voice right now, because you are a success, going somewhere to happen, a voice that the world will reckon with. And as expectation of a lot of creature is the manifestation of people like you. Go, manifest, voice it out, say it. The truth. You should be known with saying the truth all the time. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye for now.
Right, you're welcome back. Hope you were well inspired with that heart-to-heart inspirational with Ramsey Enoch Agbo. At about this point, it's the newspaper review segment, and we're going to start with the first paper of the day. It's the Daily Courier, and above the nameplate, it says, actor Alex Okubo dies at 40. Yes, very sad loss there from the Nollywood industry. Alex Okubo was an amazing actor who died at the age of 40 due to liver cancer. And that is why it's very important that we check and we, health is wealth, they say. It's very important that we do the necessary things and avoid things that will trigger these sort of diseases, liver, kidney, all of that. I pray may his soul rest in perfect peace. And below that, below the nameplate on page 6, it says, Abuja under siege as indiscriminate tree felling threatens lives, environment to Lubankoli. That's on page 3. And on page 9, it says, Uganda's Yoweri Museveni sworn in for the 7th term as president. And on page 11, it says, Lagos Speaker Obasa declares interest in rep seat. Okay. And the Star story, which is a major concern here, says ISIS shifts to West Africa. U.S. flags Nigeria, Lake Chad as hotspots. Okay. And of course, we have two riders there. ISIS remnants exploiting Sahel, Lake Chad gaps after Iraq, Syria collapse. And the next says U.S. to boost intel, protect Christians in Africa, counterterrorism push. And then on page 4, it says Starmer defunct as 4 ministers quit over election route. And it says PWD's launch able to run campaign, vow to contest 2027 polls to end technician. And on page 10, it says Action Aid urges probe impeachment of governors misusing public funds for 2027 campaigns. And on page 15, it says Surap appeals 100 million naira DSS defamation ruling, 6th stay of execution. That's on page 15. And it says 2027, NDC sets presidential forms at 60 million naira, unveils primary timetable. And it says Mourinho reaches agreement to become new Real Madrid manager. And that's from the sports column, and that's on page 16. And basically, those are all the major headlines on the Daily Courier. Go out and get yourself a copy. I mean, well abreast with the issues making round and avoid fake news. Up next is the Daily Monitor, and Uyi will take us through.
The first headline here has a picture of Senator Serake Dixon, who is the national leader of the NDC. Says the NDC pegs presidential tickets at 60 million naira, releases timetable for 2027 primaries. One writer tells us to adopt the open secret ballot system for primaries. DHQ dismisses civilian casualty claims in Zamfara operation on page 2. Alleged coup plot, suspects gave confessional statements voluntarily, says witness. Federal government pledges 15,000 housing units for 60,000 families in 3 months. That's quite ambitious. We hope it comes to fruition. On page 4, Plateau security challenges are surmountable. This is the governor of Plateau State, Barrister Caleb Mufwang, speaking on page 8 of the Daily Monitor. And then the Star headline reads, Nigeria's tax reforms key to economic growth. Finance Minister. Two writers tell us, says federal government creating competitive tax environment capable of attracting investment capital, supporting enterprise growth, others. Countries failing to modernize tax systems risk weakened resilience, inequality, and declining investor confidence. NUT expresses concerns over federal government's UTME waiver for NCE candidates. What's their concern? Well, the writer says policy, if not properly implemented, could weaken quality of teacher training, undermine professionalism in teaching profession. I'm sure consultations can continue. Critical stakeholders can initiate engagements in this regard. Those are all the headlines from the Daily Monitor for you today. Please find details beyond the headlines as we turn to the Guardian newspaper.
All right, now the Guardian newspaper, below the nameplate on page 3, it says Tinubu Ruto meets as African leaders push credit reforms at Nairobi summit with France. And on page 2, it says Nigeria ranks third as students abroad surge 98% in 4 years. And on page 3, it says oil output hits 1.66 mbpd as Navy intensifies pressure across creek corridors. And the Star story is on page 6. It says importers groan as Middle East crisis hammers toil strain supply OPEC. And beside that, it says on page 30, repentant Boko Haram members to swear Quran oath. And on page 7, it says 56 years later, Gowon relieves civil war in autobiography. Biography, yes, and that's on page 7. And on page 6, it says ADC wants alleged 800 billion naira FAAC diversion probe as FG seeks fresh loans. Okay. And on page 4, and that, of course, is the picture of the Chief of Defense Staff, it says alleged coup, court begins trial within trial over defendant's statement. And on page 4, it says monthly petrol spending hits 2 trillion naira as Dangote receives 39.2 million barrels of crude. And on page 30, it says Kwara APC faces fresh tensions over religion, 2027 secession battle. And below that is page 8. It says health workers shut down services over EFCC raid in UUTH, University UUTH there, which is really, well, let's see what that is all about. But you have to go get yourself a copy of The Guardian to be well abreast these major issues on the front line of the paper. Next is the Daily Times.
Top right corner is business with a picture of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State. It says Lagos targets 4 trillion naira investment at Invest Lagos 3.0 Summit. NNPCL refinery deal with Chinese firms sparks fresh demand for Ojulari's resignation. Well, we're not out of the woods yet, same for NNPC. Then the Star headline says 800 billion naira FARC, Nigerians poorer as states receive more money, ADC chides APC. And writer says ruling parties turned governors into fundraising machine. And then further down, this time left corner of it, court admits statements of alleged coup plotters as exhibits in trial within trial. Tinubu backs Nigeria's hosting of CAF Congress awards. Quite scanty on the front page of the Daily Times today, but I'd like you to read up details for yourself. We'll now turn to the next one, the Daily Independent.
All right, now the Daily Independent, above the nameplate on page 6, it says here, tax reforms will boost economic growth, global competitiveness, and that's from the federal government. And on page 7, it reads, NCAA clears earpiece of wrongdoing in London flight incident. And of course, below the nameplate, and that's the Star story, says Nigeria appreciates amid 30% FX inflow drop beats supply shock. And on page 7, it says ADC raises the alarm over alleged 800 billion naira diversion for Tinubu re-election. On page 29, it says Nigeria under siege, Tinubu overwhelmed by rising insecurity, and that's from Article. And on page 6, it says Akwa Ibom doctors suspend services following EFCC raid at UUTH. And on page 7, it says Lagos Health Commissioner warns of 33,000 doctors shortfall. Now, that's a lot. And below that, it says rising costs, poor roads, fuel, tomato, or tomato, tomato.
Well, they are both correct.
They are both correct.
Depending on what's a variant of English.
Exactly. Pepper price hikes. Okay, that's not good news. And Tinubu OK's Nigeria's hosting of 2026 CAF Awards, and that's on page 6. And I've got to get yourself a copy of the Daily Independent to read up more details.
Across dailies today, and will form talking points for the rest of the week. Fubara shuts down defection rumors, declares loyalty to APC. I think that lays all of these speculations to rest. Amuson wins Nigeria's first gold at African Athletics Championships. Again, she's putting Nigeria on the map. An Hollywood actor, Alex Akubo, died of kidney cancer, that's according to his family. For those of you who are speculating all sorts, including the claim that the gentleman died of liver cancer, I'm sure you can now go to bed and knowing that his family has spoken. You can't cry more than the bereaved. NDLEA intercepts 10.4 billion naira Canadian loud at Lagos port. All right, that sounds very loud. Then the last one, Nigerian pilgrim dies in Mecca during Hajj. That's sad. We hope our pilgrims would stick with all of the precautionary rules and then, of course, the regulations there on the Holy Land. Okay, those are all your headlines from the First Daily today. Please look up details for yourself. Let's see what we have next here this morning. Juma has the next set of headlines from the Daily Trust newspaper.
Yes, the Daily Trust newspaper here. Below the nameplate, it says, Morale Loud Tinubu says, consensus arrangement fostering unity. And that's on page 10. And the writer says here, predicts landslide victory for APC in general elections. And of course, the Star Story read as Mambila project stalls. Court jails Maman 75 years for 33.8 billion naira fraud. That's a long time. And of course, below the foot of the Daily Trust, it says EFCC arrests Energy Commission DG over alleged 500 billion naira money laundering. And that's on page 5. And below that still, it says here on page 11, Obi Kwakwaso wanted automatic ticket in PRP. Hakeem Baba Ahmed. And on page 19, it says Otedola tightens first hold co-control with 43 billion naira shares. And on page 26, gunmen killed 2 customs officer in Kebbi State. And of course, those are all the major headlines on the Daily Trust. Go out and get yourself a copy and read more and avoid fake news. Next is the Daily Times.
Well, incidentally, we had looked at the Daily Times previously, so we'll now turn to the Blueprint newspaper for you, right? Okay, above the name mast, we have here, it says governors take charge as APC clears ripes aspirants in Lagos, Ondo, Ekiti, Enugu, Rivers. 33.8 billion naira fraud. Ex-Power Minister Mamman jailed 75 years in absentia. What's more, Unity Cup boost for Super Eagles, setback for Zimbabwe. And then the big one says, Zamfara airstrike. Nigerian Air Force fighter jet struck shortly after terrorists arrived at local market. That's according to witness. No evidence of civilian casualties. DHQ Northern senators seek justice once incident probed. Then we have one on the left side of the front page. Locals vandalizing, stone pelting train along Abuja-Kaduna Rail Corridor. That's credited to the Nigerian Railway Corporation, NRC. NUC signs World Bank-backed $65 million performance contract. Initiative targets varsity upgrade training of 24,000 Nigerians. What more do we have? Federal government to launch digital switchover nationwide, June 17. That's according to Idris. But we know we also heard this back in the day, a few years ago, when we had Lai Mohammed as the Minister of Information and and Culture. But we hope this time it becomes a reality. Piracy eliminated in Nigerian waters. That's the president there speaking. Wike visits APC chairman, says, I don't play politics of enmity. Lastly, on the fruits of the front page, DMO rolls out 600 billion naira bond, offering fresh domestic borrowing push. Those are all the headlines from the blueprint. We'll now take a look at the Vanguard newspaper for you.
And automatically, that is the last paper on the segment, newspaper review segment. And above the nameplate here, it says Nigeria's oil output raises marginally short of OPEC quota, and that's on page 19. And on page 46, it says UN seeks independent probe into Nigeria-Chad airstrikes. And on page 7, it says court jails ex-power minister Mamon 75 years over 33.8 billion naira fraud. And on page 6, it says here EFCC arrests Energy Commission, DG, over alleged 500 billion naira money laundering. And on page 8, it says why I visited APC chairman, and that's from the FCC minister, Nyesom Wike. And the star story below says APC primaries, petitions pour in as party clears Uzodinma, Fubara, Ali, others. And some of the riders read, Axe dangles on Adelabu, no governor disqualified. Alleged imposition threatens Oyo APC. Aiyedatiwa bows to pressure to conduct direct primaries. APC screening committee clears Delta speaker, 45 others, and that's on page 12. And now here below on page 8, it says 2027, Kwakwaso tackles Baba Ahmed over alleged demand for PRP presidential ticket. And there are two riders there. It says, we rejected Obi Kwakwaso's request for presidential ticket, and that's from Baba Ahmed. And PRP chair seeking attention, says Kwakwaso's movement. And on page 12, it says, conflicting court ruling threatens banking stability, CJ Soho warns. And on page 14, it says, Leah Sharibu at 23, women's group seek to keep her story alive. And on page 9, it says Nigerians spend 6.54 trillion naira to import auto parts in 2 years. And that's from the DGNADDC. And below the columnist, it says Olu. Okay, we can just, my favorite part is the Mr. and Mrs. column. And basically, that is all on the newspaper review segment. And of course, please note that Global Television or the Global Television crew has no input whatsoever when it comes to the editorial judgments of these papers. It's read to you just as how they were printed. And of course, that brings us to the end of the newspaper review segment. Up next is Social Buzz with Ogochukwu Mobono. Stay tuned.
Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
Watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
In an age of breaking news, you need a trusted source that prioritizes accurate, factual, and unbiased reporting. This is AM News, and I am Ubong Usoro.
On Global Television, our news is rooted in verified and authoritative storytelling that keeps you educated, informed, and enlightened on all the issues that matter to you. I am Sadia Yakubu. This is Midday News.
You can trust our multi-platform news broadcast real-time and fast-check stories for all the big local and foreign headlines round the clock. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. This is News Express.
Our array of anchors delivers the news to our teeming viewers, breaking it down with context and perspective. This is News Cycle on Global Television. I am Anieti Patrick.
And the flagship news is your hub for the day's most engaging stories. This is News Prime, and I am Jumai Manson.
Did you miss any of our news rounds? No worries. Catch up at 10 p.m. and midnight, 7 days of the week. I am Mukhtar Kasim.
Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. We're active across all social media platforms at Global TV NG.
Global TV News, accurate and unbiased. I'm Uyi Agmofwebe.
At Witchtech Cables, we don't just make cables, we deliver excellence. Our products are built with advanced technology, trusted for their unmatched quality and durability. With a wide range of cables, swift delivery, and continuous innovation, we stay ahead of the market demand. We are proudly Nigerian, fully indigenous, yet world-class. Backed by a professional team, strong technical support, and a deep commitment to customer satisfaction. Witchtech Cables is more than a brand, it's a promise. Witchtech Cables, quality cables, better than the best.
When social media speaks, we listen and we bring you the extra. It's your one-stop shop for trends, tweets, and the tea everyone's sipping on. Join the conversation, share your thoughts, and get that extra dose of what's shaking the internet.
And on issues making wave on social media to your doorstep.
Social Boss Extra, where the trend meets the talk, only on Global TV.
Good morning, Nigerians and viewers around the world. It's time to look at buzzing issues on social media. Today, we're talking about something that has been trending on social media for about 2 days now, and that's Alex Okubo's death. So his family actually brought up a message which was posted in his Instagram account, also X, all his socials about his death and also the cause of his death. After a lot of persons have alleged so many things, so many persons are saying so many things on social media, but now the family are saying that what actually led to his death is cancer. He had been battling the kidney cancer. Famous Nigerian actor Alex Okubo has sadly died. Family sources said he passed away on Monday, the 11th, after a battle with cancer. He was just 41 years old. He clocked 41. He was supposed to actually celebrate that, which was in April, just a month after he died. His whereabouts has been of concern to so many, as he has been off social media for a long time. His last post on social media was seen in December 2024. Alex was famous for his versatility as an actor as well as his good looks. May his soul rest in peace. Well, if you know Alex, I've been a follower of Alex for a very long time. I actually love his movies. I remember when, I think the first time I saw him was AY's Creep. There is movie by AY, I think just in different episodes, AY's Creep. I'm like, this young one, I just like the way he, acted there, with Mimi and all of that. I also saw him in a couple of other movies, and then I realized that he was one time runner-up for the Mr. Nigeria, and he's just so much. He's a lot of things. Recently, just before his breakup with his wife, or his fiancée, was supposed to be married to Nancy, and something broke up on social media, and we started hearing things like, allegedly that he's gay, he's this, he's that, he's that. And so many persons also thought that that was what he was battling with before he actually lost his life. But the family has come out to say, you know what, whatever it is you thought about is not what it is. And I just don't know why people just conclude on things. You are not part of this person's family. You just conclude on things that this is what killed this person, this is what led to his death. And it's not even the right time to talk about that. And again, I just want to bring up Blessed CEO's issue. When you're talking cancer, cancer is not something you play with. Cancer is not something that is not like malaria that you just go to the counter in the pharmacy and get the drugs. No, it takes time, it takes process, there's a procedure and all of that. And people who fight cancer always, they know the struggle behind it. It's not an easy journey. But I don't know, I really feel sad that, he didn't carry people along. It's just his family, I understand. But I felt like he would have actually carried people along. Well, I'm not doing this alone in the studio. I have with me Jumai Mansin. We're going to be talking about Alex Okubo's legacy, his movie role, and everything he did in the industry. Good morning, Jumai.
Good morning, Ogochukwu. How are you doing today? It's not a very pleasant social media topic today. It's very sad. Alex Okubo, an amazing actor. I have watched his movies. He's a natural when it comes to delivering and all of that. I love his movies. He's kind. He's an amazing individual. For individuals who have met him, they've spoken a lot about him. And of course, his death is like a reflection for people to learn from. You don't go about saying things about individuals you have no clue about. You do not know what these individuals are battling. You do not know, and you come out and you say stuff that are untrue, unreal, unrealistic. It's just unfortunate. And of course, there are allegations that he was secretly married because he decided that he wanted to stay off social media. Because when it came out 2001 and 2021, and the proposal which he had with his fiancée went south. People came and said a lot of things. In fact, my sister will always say, what people don't know, they cannot ruin.
Definitely.
So with all of that, they said a lot of things, a lot of hurtful and spiteful things. So the next one, he decided to do something in private and with family, loved ones, and friends, which I commend, by the way.
Honestly,
I commend. And because of how the reaction of social media, how people come out and they say a lot of negative things, he tried to keep this particular struggle to himself. Only loved ones and friends knew about it. He allowed people to say all the things that they wanted to say and all of that, all those hurtful things, defamation of an individual's character. Said a lot. They said a lot. But at the long run, when you're kind, you're kind. people always say, his friends, family members came out and said a lot. So people should be very careful. Tread softly when it comes to individuals that you do not even have one-on-one contact with. You do not know the struggle. You do not know what this person is going through, and you come out and you say a lot of things. It's just unfortunate. But all the same, he's still rest in perfect peace.
May he so rest in perfect peace. Amen. I think Alex is a really private person.
Very.
Beyond the glitz and glams we see on social media and also in the movies. You know, I can't imagine how someone was able to keep all of this to himself for 2 years.
Wow.
2024 to 2026.
It's a big deal.
And you know, I saw the likes of Ruth Kadri. These are people that he was very close to.
Yes.
And I saw the likes of Omoni Oboli,
AY,
Uti, I beg your pardon, you know, and some other AY, yes, the AY family, like he's a friend to that family. And they kept saying, they all said, Alex never told us. And these are people that, you know, so much in his life. These are friends, close friends that are more like family, you know. AY's younger brother, the wife always calls him my husband. You can imagine your friend's wife calling you my husband. That's to show how close they are. And no one got to know about it. Each time they asked him, he said, I'm fine, I'm doing good, don't worry, I'll come back. Omoni Oboli yesterday posted a conversation they had in 2025, a WhatsApp conversation, and she teased him so much and asked, where are you? Please come back, I have a movie, and right now I'm doing well on YouTube. I'm sure you're watching on YouTube. I would like you to come back. And he was like, don't worry, my comeback will be very strong. You even be tired of me when I come back because I'm going to ask so much. You can imagine how much he was trying to encourage people even when he was down, how much he was trying to put smiles on people's faces. One thing I really took from Alex's death is that a lot of persons came out to say Alex will never see Alex frown. He's always smiling. Alex will always tell you, don't worry, it's fine, everything is fine. He's always on the positive side, and I'm sure that was how he lived his life, like being positive even with his illness, even when he knows that he might even die. He was positive all through to the end, and that's a good one. Honestly, let's know that this life beyond this looks, beyond the wealth you're going to make, because Alex was actually wealthy. He made good money for himself. He was into businesses, even real estate businesses. I saw that with him and Obi Kubana. Like they had different business deal, and he was putting them out there. Beyond the business, the money you're going to make and the wealth, there is nothing really. Just make sure that you hold on to your faith, your belief, and make sure you do good, because that is what is going to, that's what you're going to leave when you, the mark you're going to leave on earth when you are no more. The good deeds you did here on earth, if you didn't do right, just know that people will keep talking. Oh, when he or she was on earth, you didn't do well, and people will say bad about you. You don't want to leave a bad mark, because I saw somebody, Blessing CEO, I brought her up again.
Yes, you did.
Someone, one of these blogs said, oh Lord, take Blessing CEO and give us Alex. I'm like,
no.
Why? No one should pray for anything bad. I understand she's very, very controversial, everything, but no one should say that. And she came up and she kept, she was like, oh, please, you people saying that she take me to bring back Alex. It's not a good one. Yes, she said it wasn't a good one. She put out causes out there. But please do not wish anyone bad. That's the thing. You have no idea what everyone is going through. It might not be cancer. It might not be even illness, but so many persons are going through a lot and they're not even saying it. So please, let's try to be good out there. Speak good words and don't wish anyone bad, honestly.
I know, to add to what you've said, this is an eye-opener for so many people, that the social media is something that there's always an advantage and a disadvantage when it comes to this sort of issue. So we have to tread softly and be very careful. But in all, the moral behind this is just be kind. Be kind in your words, in your actions. Just be kind. It's very important that, like you mentioned, you said that mark when you're no more. No one knows. This is a price that everyone is going to pay at the long run. And what will you be remembered by? It's a story for everyone to always, a reflection that you should always know. And it's just unfortunate that Alex is gone, but I'm sure he's resting, because cancer is not something that when you see the individual, you even wish the person goes to rest. I'm telling you, because it's a very hard. 2 years is a big deal to fight for 2 years with cancer. It's a big deal, and I just pray that God will give his family fortitude to bear this this loss. and I pray his soul rest in perfect peace. Amazing guy, amazing actor. With a long run, like they said, in everything you should give thanks to God. We are blessed to have someone like Alex Okubo. You know, we felt his impact when it comes to the movie industry and the lives in which he has touched, and of course, people that have felt his warmth and his kindness. It's very important.
All right, thank you so much. Jumai Mansin. I'm almost, in tears.
It's very emotional today.
Thank you so much for your contribution.
You're welcome.
And from Global TV and also from everyone in Global Morning, we are saying that may the soul of Alex continue to rest in perfect peace.
Amen.
This is where we close the curtains today for Social Pulse on Global Morning. And I'll be leaving you the house of Uyi and Jumai as the ushers into the discussion on Global Morning. So stay with us as the discussion continues. I am Ogochukwu Mobioma. And once again, good morning, Nigerians and viewers around the world. Bye for now.
When social media speaks, we listen and we bring you the extra. It's your one-stop shop for trends, tweets, and the tea everyone's sipping on. Join the conversation, share your thoughts, and get that extra dose of what's shaking the internet.
And on the issues making wave on social media to your doorstep.
Social Boss Extra, where the trend meets the talk, only on Global TV.
Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
Watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television. At Aerogym Shoe Factory, excellence starts from the ground up. Located at number 1 Pound Road behind Nigeria Correctional Service, Aba, Abia State. We produce 1,500 high-quality shoes every single day. Paramilitary shoes, safety boots, desert boots, ankle shoes, back-to-school footwear. All crafted with state-of-the-art equipment and built for strength, comfort, and durability. For reliable footwear that stands the test of time, choose Aerogym Shoes for better product, strong steps, smart style. For inquiries, call 091-264-53399 or 070-3009-3944 or 080-6573-8374 or call 081-3167-3668. Email info@aerogym.com. Website www.aerogymdesign.com. Aerogym. Walk with confidence. Walk with pride.
In an age of breaking news, you need a trusted source that prioritizes accurate, factual, and unbiased reporting. This is AM News, and I am Ubong Usoro.
On global television, our news is rooted in verified and authoritative storytelling that keeps you educated, informed, and enlightened on all the issues that matter to you. I am Sadia Yakubu. This is Midday News.
You can trust our multi-platform news broadcast real-time and fast-check stories for all the big local and foreign headlines round the clock. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. This is News Express.
Our array of anchors delivers the news to our teeming viewers, breaking it down with context and perspective. This is News Cycle on Global Television. I am Anieti Patrick.
And the flagship news is your hub for the day's most engaging stories. This is News Prime, and I am Jumai Manson.
Did you miss any of our news rounds? No worries. Catch up at 10 p.m. and midnight, 7 days of the week. I am Mukhtar Kasim.
Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. We're active across all social media platforms at Global TV NG.
Global TV News, accurate and unbiased. I'm Uyi Agmofwebe.
In an
Thank you for staying with us, everyone. Let's now put our discussion on the road for you. Of course, the focus is on politics and where we are today on the road to 2027. We've seen what politicians are doing and continue to do, whether in the ruling APC or in the opposition. However, how do these actions and in some cases inactions shape the journey towards 2027? And again, it appears we are, for the most part, obsessed with who becomes the next president, as against also paying attention to, as it were, local governance, so to speak. We're joined this morning by a socio-political analyst, Toba Owojai. Toba, thank you for coming on the program this morning.
Good morning, sir. I'm always glad to be here.
Good morning. Thank you for making our time.
Thank you very much.
Great. So let's begin with a point I just highlighted less than a minute ago. Why do we have this seeming obsession with who becomes president? We don't seem to be paying much of attention to well, let's say the National Assembly, who becomes a member of House of Reps or a senator, maybe even governor or members of the House of Assembly. Why do we have that tilt?
Many reasons, but the first reason is that the president makes most of the decisions that affect us. Day one, the president removes subsidy.
Right.
No senator is responsible for that. No House of Reps. No governor is responsible for that. There are some decisions that fall solely on the president, and every other person now has to cope with whatever dynamics comes out of that.
Right.
So the president is the most important factor. Look at Salvador, which was the crime capital of the world. One president came in, did a very big crackdown on crime, and in Salvador now you can leave your goods and nobody will touch it because nobody is stupid enough to touch it. So those are the things that make it that the presidential race is the biggest race and people have to fight for it.
But I want to ask, what are the major pressures affecting the 2027 election?
You see, we are a fragmented people that is one country, and I don't know for how long we'll be one if we don't change the way we do our politics. And the way I want to stick to it being political, because we are too diverse a people, and without that melting point, we will always have this problem. I was saying to somebody who came from abroad, and they're just wondering why Nigeria cannot move forward. And we came to a critical thought. That I said the only solution to Nigeria's problem that I see is for zoning to be put in the constitution of Nigeria. Let it not be a party matter. Let zoning be a constitutional matter. Then the drag will not now be a national drag. It will be a regional drag. So when it's in the north, the northerners will contest for it and the whole country will vote. When it's in the south, the southerners will contest for it and the whole country will vote. The more we have north and south fighting for power, this always repeats itself. It happened when MKO was president, the election was annulled. A few years later, he died or was killed, depends on who you ask. We saw it when Goodluck also came on board. He wanted to even be removed after just 1 year. This north and south fight is killing us and it's taking us nowhere. We are spending too much on politicking. We are spending too much on rancor. We are becoming more divided than ever, and it's not good for us. These are the things that need to be put in place. It should become a matter of constitution that zoning should be made a law. And I think if we don't get there, I'm scared for this country in the next 10 years.
We've seen people say that, I mean, in very recent times, that it was the PDP, it was the PDP's idea to have this zoning. It was under Obasanjo, some people say, but overall it was the PDP that brought about the idea of zoning. So they say it's a PDP arrangement. I was seeing people like Atiku advance that argument. They say, look, we should be looking at merit, competence, and track record as against zoning. When you look back now, assuming without conceding that it was absolutely the idea of the PDP, do you think the former ruling party got off on the wrong foot with that sort of initiative?
You see, as an opposition, you cannot, it's not your best interest to zone because you are trying to play to the masses. Remember, this is a game of votes. You're trying to gather the most people, and people with ambitions gather around you.
Right. From all across the country.
From all across the country. So what do you do when you want to aggregate people? Throw it open so that everybody comes from north and south everywhere. And then at the end of the day, somebody emerges and then you go forward with it. PDP was the big party then. So if we say they zoned, and it worked for them for a period of time, until they could not sustain their zoning principle, which was what led to all the drama. In my opinion, I voted for Goodluck then, but in my opinion, Goodluck shouldn't have contested.
In 2015, you mean?
Yes, he shouldn't have contested. There was nothing to contest for. And then just taking the first one he did and the other one, and moved away and allowed the North. By now, we'll see, Boko Haram and everything is a child of this distrust. There's a distrust in Nigeria. And is that
between who and who?
Between the North and the South. It's the same thing we're talking about. There's a distrust between the North and the South. That power will move smoothly from the North to the South. And power will move smoothly from the South to the North. And once this trust is not there, everybody buys puts a pit bull dog in their backyard, which is militancy or insecurity or Boko Haram, so that they use that to fight. Insecurity is the greatest, economy and insecurity is the greatest reason why a president will be removed from office. So the opposition and whoever wants a president out will always play those cards.
So does that validate the president's claim in a video we saw recently, saying that they want to push me, they're trying to push me out using insecurity?
Of course they want to push him out. See, you cannot remove a president without insecurity and a bad economy. You can't remove a sitting president. Because you see, the masses care about daily things, survival things, and you can't blame them. Somebody who has not lived to tomorrow, you want him to think long term, okay? So they just find whoever says things about what they want to hear, their basic needs, and then this continues, this circle continues. Goodluck was benefited from the death of Yaradua, and after he did just one year before the elections came up, he now had his own 4 years. After the 4 years, people now told him to push for a single term for 6 years.
Right.
So that would have made it 1 year plus 4 years, 5 years, plus 6 years, 11 years. And the North was saying, Obasanjo came on board. We brought him on board because MKO was denied.
More like compensation.
Yes, more like a compensation for the Southwest. Okay? So when that came in, that balanced us a bit. We are not as divided as now. Then Atiku came up very early wanting him to do only 1 term. But there was no pattern yet. There was no pattern to 2 terms at that time. So I won't completely blame him, but he did his best to kick Obasanjo out. Immediately he didn't succeed. The president now kicked him out of things. He had to change party. Tinubu had to give him tickets. All of that drama that played out left us with Yaradua. Yaradua didn't live out his first term. The North felt like they had only done like 2 years. And then Obasanjo did 8. Goodluck had done, we will say 5 or 6. And then he was now looking for another 6. So the North didn't want to have it.
Right.
Which is what led to Boko Haram, which is what led to all the drama. What I'm saying is, if we just have a clear zoning principle in our constitution, 90% of our fights will not be on ground.
You know, let's talk about former President Goodluck Jonathan now.
Yes.
In your own opinion, what's your take about him, coming out to contest for the presidential election 2027? Do you think it's the right move, or do you think it's the right direction, or it's a it's a wrong move?
I think it won't happen. I believe in him. I like him. I think he had the chance. If he had really come out like 2-3 months ago, he would have beaten Tinubu square. I've said it before on air 2-3 times. Goodluck is the only person that can beat Tinubu, and I remain on that point.
Till this point?
Till today. Goodluck is the only person that can beat Tinubu. But Goodluck, like Obi, doesn't like to lose. Wants to be given the ticket on a plate of gold without any
fight.
Tussle. Just no stress. Just give me, I run, the people like me. And then he's in PDP. He's on the Turaki faction side. Now you cannot defect. Are you aware?
Right. That window has closed.
That window has closed already. May 10th closed the window from moving anywhere. No, you can still move, but you cannot contest.
Yes.
So now he's stuck with the PDP. And now he's on the Turaki side of the PDP. And I'm telling you, the Turaki side of PDP will not survive, because I've never seen somebody fight with K and win.
You keep saying that. Let's talk about this.
But I've never been wrong either.
Okay, yeah, till we prove you wrong.
Till you prove me wrong.
What's your take about the Kwakwaso and Obi faction? What's your take on that? Those two forces coming together.
Wonderful. This is what they should have done in 2020. You see,
really,
what hits all of us is that everybody's not trying to do what they should have done 4
earlier.
Years ago. This is what they should have done. They should have. Will have been resting. Do I think Obi would have been better with the economy? Yes, yes.
Do you think they stand a chance, though? When it comes to the 2027 election, do you think there is a chance? You know, Kwakwaso has the Kwakasias behind him. Obi has the Obedient movement. But do you think they have a strong chance of emerging as the winners for 2027 election?
It's possible, but for that to happen, Atiku has to pull out of the race. For that to happen.
So Atiku is a strong contender when you...
Atiku is always a strong contender. See, they may not agree, but the reason why Obi and Kwankwaso left is because you cannot beat Atiku in the primaries. I've said there's no end to saying this. Atiku is about the best polished politician in Nigeria. Whether the masses like him fully or not, that's another story. But within a political setting of a primaries, you cannot beat Atiku.
Okay, so I'm curious now. Do we need to have a situation or see a situation where Atiku pulls out of the race and says, "I'm throwing my weight behind Obi Kwankwaso," because it doesn't look like there's any chance in that direction?
Save God coming down from his throne and telling Atiku not to contest. I cannot see Atiku not contest. There's nothing. You see, the man is a ruthless, relentless believer in his presidential ambition as this final legacy of his life. That when he enters there, he will change Nigeria. And he believes it more than anybody believes it. So he will continue. That's why he must continue. And that's what has killed him politically also. Because he has never obeyed the political swing. The day zoning favors him, he's happy for zoning. The day it doesn't favor him, merit. The next time, he's back to zoning when it favors him. When it doesn't favor him, merit. That perennial contesting has run down a lot of his goodwill. Because, see, contesting is not easy. People just think it's... That's how we can tell who and who is in the race. I'm going to tell you something that sounds bad, but that's politics. If you want to be the main person from the Southwest, no matter how many young politicians you bring up, let me use Tinubu as an example, and Fashola, and Ambode, and Sanwo-Olu. If you want to become the president, it takes like 15, 16 years of visibility. Within that time, you must produce successors. Within that time, your successors must rise and go down. Let me say again, they must rise under you and then go down. Because if you are not careful, if they rise, the people you raise become your contestants. So what they do in politics, you let them rise and then you drop them back so that your visibility can remain. I remember I told you there are political swings. It has to go for you, it has to go against you, and then come back for you. That's what Tinubu did. He supported Ribadu, he supported other people, he supported Buhari, and when the swing now came to the south, he now said, it's my turn. So, which is what Atiku can never claim to have. He has never supported anybody's turn. It has always been him. So after a while, you see, it's like the story in the Bible where they say, women gather to eat another person's child, and the next time when it was turn to eat her own child, she now went to call the prophet. So if it was bad, it's bad now, but it was good when you ate another person's child. So that's what's wrong with his own politicking, and I don't think he will make it. He is playing a very strong northern card now, and he may be the only major northerner on the ticket. So that gives him an opportunity. He's the man to beat in this election, but I don't see him beating Tinubu.
With all of this, like you've said, do you think there's a strong opposition against the APC at this point as we speak? With all of these strategies being put in place, these defections, this merging and all of that, do you think the APC now has a very strong opposition, looking at all the political parties?
I think largely the people want Tinubu out, but the political parties are not better than Tinubu in plain politics. Tinubu was, and his party was pushing for what we saw like a one-party system. But it was bringing them far more bad will than goodwill. So Jonah said, you see what? Let's leave this one-party system. Let 10 parties contest. And all of a sudden we saw a swing, and then the same politicians who love and who have ambition and who always want to go for it, immediately more doors opened and more court cases favored them, and some were hanging. We now saw them all running in different. There are even people in APM now. There are just all sorts of spread of the opposition, which still takes us back to 2023. A divided opposition can hardly beat the ruling party. In 2025, Tinubu had to bring his AC. Buhari brought his CPC. They came.
That's it, going into 2015.
2015, I'm sorry.
Right.
They came together to beat PDP. We have not seen the opposition do that. The opposition was already close to that 1 month ago, and Tinubu, who understands politics well, let's spread them apart. Even God in the Bible, there's a Tower of Babel. Let's spread them apart. Let them move. So I don't see them beating Tinubu, to be honest. But they would have a fair fight at it. If they collapse what they have and come together again, if they do an Obi Kwankwaso ticket and Atiku doesn't contest and backs it, they can beat Tinubu. But I cannot see Atiku not contest.
Peter Obi has moved to the NDC, which you know. Kwankwaso is there. Kwankwaso says, look, I have no problem running with Peter Obi as his prospective vice president, right? That looks good compared to what we had heard in 2022, 2023. The obedience movement says, look, anywhere Peter Obi goes, we go with him. Do you see Obi still having that cloud, still having that spark to pull off in 2027 what we had seen in 2023?
Well, the economy is bad, in my opinion, for the masses. Because there's no economy that is bad for everybody, right? So the economy is bad for the masses. Insecurity is strong. People are favorable to a government change. However, Obi's kind of people are very, very distinct and far from Kwankwaso's kind of people. So it's not an easy mathematics of saying we just take this far north, far left and far right and merge them and it will just smoothen off. People say one banned alcohol when he was governor, one built breweries when he was governor. How do you merge those two
kinds of thinking?
Because you can't tell us what you want to do in the future. We look at what you've done in the past.
Right.
So at that level, there are two different people with two different ideologies, two different clouds. But for this purpose, and I'm telling you that as at last week, I believe Kwankwaso thought he would beat Obi in NDC. The writings were on the wall. Even when he was interviewed, he never ever said he was not contesting and wanted to be VP.
Right.
But now the ticket has been zoned. He has also plied that line and followed gently. So will they not agree that a VP position to a southeastern man is okay for them? That's the question. It's okay for the south. But is it okay for the north? Will that be able to draw enough votes on the north? And then also, Atiku would also plan to use that if Obi and Kwankwaso cannot draw votes from the north, and Atiku can gather the strong northern votes, then he can emerge. So everybody has a chance to emerge, and that's the reason why everybody will try their own ways to to win it. So it's going to be hard. They can win it, but they're just two different set of people. Kwankwaso is even far more domineering as a person than Obi. So it's not easy to see him as a vice president for Obi.
Now, with all of this, let's talk about the masses now. Do you think they believe in this electoral process, what is ongoing? Everyone has their own opinion about the Anikchen and Joshua Mupiton. They have this notion that he's Tinubu's boy. Of course, he's going to do things in favor of Tinubu. What's your take? Do you think the masses, they believe in the electorate, they believe in the election process and what is going to play out in 2027? Your own opinion now.
Truly, 95% of Nigerians don't believe in the electoral process of Nigeria. And rightly so. There are too many things that give that indication that everything is going to be scripted. But this is not new. We've been on this path. We've been on this path for over 20 years. So if you ask me, will this election be free and fair? I don't think so. But has the opposition played into the hands of the ruling party by also dividing themselves? They did that in 2023 and they've done that now again. So you cannot only point your hand to the presidency or INEC. If Tinubu emerges, you would also see what the opposition did themselves by not uniting to lose.
But do you see a high mass of individuals coming out to vote in 2027?
Yes, people come out to vote. People come out to vote. I don't see less numbers, but the youths will live out this election. I believe that there will be a very strong youth movement in 2031, a very strong youth movement. We may even have a young...
2031?
Yes, we may even have a young president. I foresee somebody that is completely out of... as of today, may not be known by more than 100,000 people. Imagine 2031. People are tired of this system. But you see, the big players have not allowed any new player into the field. And the new players too have not done their acts right to emerge into the field. I'm not saying a VDM can become a president, but you need that kind of movement in the south, you need that kind of movement in the north that is young and can gather the young people to themselves. This is a PVC matter. Once a southern person gathers the clout in the south, like Obi, devoid of party, devoid of anything, a northern person gathers that. Once two of them join, we can push out this old man. But for now, I don't see them do that.
Talking about 2031, there are people I've spoken with, particularly off camera. They say, look, Kwankwaso has got his eyes on 2031. That's the reason he's ready to, as it were, play second fiddle to Peter Obi, because ultimately he knows power swings back to the north in 2021. So whatever he's doing right now is laying the groundwork for that ambition. Is that your sentiment?
Yeah, that's part of it, but it's not just him. I believe Ribadu is eyeing 2031. I believe half of the APC governors are eyeing 2031. I believe Kwankwaso is eyeing 2031. I believe El-Rufai is eyeing 2031. That's why he's not complaining in the cell where he is. He's going to come out as the northern hero that fought Tinubu, and being in the cell, eating good food, resting, doesn't hurt his chances to gather northern vote. Like I told you, you will need somebody strong from the north, somebody strong from the south, and most likely to still be a northerner that will be president in 2031. So Kwankwaso has that chance. Is he spoiling his chance by working with Obi now? I won't say yes or no, because there are people in the north that are angry with him now for that, and there are people that understand that the southerners need to see him as a person, as somebody who is not opposed to them, as somebody who is not fighting the southeast. as somebody who is now national, because Kwankwaso has never been national, right? This is his chance to be national, for his name to be on many lips. Remember that the time when he was Minister of Defense was 1999. Most of the people then, half of them are dead. We have a new set of people on ground who know nothing about his past, apart from him being a governor. And some of them don't even know he was a governor. Because they are young, they are new, they don't know all of your long history. They don't have time to Google it. It's not their interest. So, but now his name is now coming back on the scene, tied to somebody who some of them in the South already love, Peter Obi. So he's going to pack off a chunk of that goodwill, whether Peter Obi and him wins or not, and then position for 2031. So you're right, but it's not just for him.
Well, let's tilt towards internal crisis now.
Okay.
How can political leaders manage crisis, disagreements, without destabilizing the party?
Okay, part of what people like me had against Obi is that you are in a Labour Party, there's a fight between just 4 people. When people keep saying Tinubu bought them, I say, bought them with how much? Is that the money that you guys don't have? People always say that, but this is my point. You have an Abure, you have Nenadi, who before now is not even a big shot. I don't know how Nenadi became a force in
Labour.
In politics as a whole. Then you have OT, a sitting governor who likes you, who is on your side, but also sees some of your political games. How can't you settle that quarrel between 4 people, and you are one of the 4? If you can't settle that, how can you settle Nigeria's issues? These are the issues that we need to bring on the table. Okay, you now went to ADC, and there's small, not even big issue, just small trouble, and you have left again. So if you are president and there's trouble, what will you do? You will leave us? So these are the things that reduce the confidence in some people that these people will be able to solve Nigeria's problem. You see, we are tired of giving people power who, at the end of the day, cannot solve our issues. So the party fights have reduced because the fight took place within a time frame. All of this, see, everything is scripted though. All of these fights were pushing for May 10th. May 10th is when you are going to submit your party register to INEC. Any place your name is in that book of life from May 10th, that's the only place you can contest in. So a new drama will now unfold now that everybody has been trapped in one party. Like I don't see Fubara selling APC tickets, and then there's nowhere else he can go to contest, but he can join other parties to support them. But
so is his ambition to be a second-term governor dead on arrival?
He's dead. He's dead, and rightly so. He had back-end agreements to that.
But that continues to be a basis for debates.
Yes.
As to whether or not there was such an agreement or such a clause in the agreement.
Yes, it's okay for it. It's okay to debate it. It's not a crime. But he knows. And you see, in politics, you must be able to keep your word. Anything you can't do, don't agree to it. Don't say, I'll agree to it, then later I'll go and do. When you keep breaking your trust quotient, Tinubu has that currency. Wike has that. If they give you their word on something, it stands. They are not wonderful. See, they are wonderful in politics, but they are not wonderful with leading. There are 2 different things. Then the others who are good with leading, but are horrible with the politics. So those ones don't like the politicking process, want a free ticket, so that when they just get they are even better at appointments. If I was the one, if we could just appoint a president who appoints Peter Obi and rest, just appoint you, no need for election, just take and walk.
Right.
But that's not the case. you have to go through this process.
Right. You see, I want us to stay with Rivers State a little longer. Okay. There have been issues around who is actually the political leader of the politics in Rivers State. With all of these drama we've seen with the APC screening process and how it has largely favored a loyal list of FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, there are those who believe that Wike has reaffirmed himself as the leader of the structures, political structures, that is, in Rivers State. Where does that leave the political future of Fubara, who now says that he's still loyal to the APC?
You see, I've said this for over 4 years. People don't believe me when I say Wike is almost impossible to beat. And you see, when you're on somebody's side and you people are fighting others, you will believe you are stronger and he's strong, but you will never know who is stronger. So people like Makinde have found out now that Wike is stronger than them. They fought with him before on his side. Now they are fighting against him. They can see the difference. Bala and the rest. The same thing has happened to Fubara. Till you fight before you know who is strong. So Wike has proved that even in PDP and you as a sitting governor in APC, I'm still stronger than you in APC. And that's you see, we're not talking about we're talking about a fight. Okay? And that just proves who is who. Go back to the jungle, you see one lion own all the lionesses, and another lion tries to enter his territory. The lioness will not fight, they'll just stay quietly, leave two of you to fight. Whoever emerges from the fight takes the spoils. So Wike has proven himself time and time again that, in short, that's why when people ask me about the Turaki faction, I don't even need to wait till that day. I know that there will be nothing will come out of it. You can't beat Wike in a fight for now. It's just as simple as that. It would waste time, it will waste our resources, it will make for good media content, but you won't beat him.
So true to Wike's word, if defecting does not guarantee you a second time in office.
At all.
True to his word.
At all.
How about those people who believe that the president is essentially on the side of Fubara? Because at the point he had said that governors are in charge of the politics in their respective states and things like that. But it appears with Rivers State, there's an exception.
There is clearly an exception. The APC secretary, Bashiru,
right, Ajibala
Basiru, yes, came out at a point and said something against supporting Fubara, and 2 weeks later he retracted his word back quietly. And the APC chairman also said something that says there's a leader in every state. He could have just said the governor is a leader in every state.
Right.
You see, competence and trust is the currency of politics. The only state Tinubu won is Rivers State in the last election.
The only state he won?
Yes, in the South-South.
In the South-South.
The only state that Tinubu won in the South-South was Rivers. And that was because of Wike. Wike is a person that gives you his word and he stands by it. You and Wike have no fight until you break agreement. All his agreements. Give this side, give this side. Don't break what you agreed. If you will not agree, he will tell you, before we finish this thing, if it's not okay, talk now. After we agree now, don't come and change minds. That's him. But people always feel like, you're smart now. How can I just agree and let me just nod my head when time reach? So that's always what leads to the fight. Fubara has gone back and forth, has been suspended at a point, remember?
Right. State of emergency.
Yes, state of emergency, got back. It's been a battle. It was not worth it. He didn't have enough political experience for the fight. He started in just 3 months in office. If he was smart, he should have waited his first term out. And in the second term, now started his.
But some people said the pressure was unbearable for him. So he didn't want to down that pressure. After all, in the final analysis, he is the one accountable to the people of Rivers State, not Nyesom Wike, who is far away in Abuja.
Okay, so I understand how that can be true, but I don't think Wike is overbearing. I think they had an agreement. I believe that it was opposition forces who were more knowledgeable about politics that were trying to use the innocence and naiveness of Fubara to cause a fight between him and Wike. It was settled many times, but the same people, you see, when you have never contested an election, you don't know politics. You don't know it enough. We saw it with Osibanjo. You were once commissioner, you were once this, you were once vice president. But all of that is nothing until you contest for ward councillor. Then you understand politics. Politics is different from appointment. That's why Iwela, you can't just bring her to come and contest in Nigeria.
As a later be governor of Delta State.
Yes. You can't just bring her like that. It doesn't just add up. And if you want to do that, you have to bring the politicians to be around her to endorse her as a choice. You know, so that's where Fubara lost it. He had never contested an election. Wike said, you see, there are people we are fighting and there are people fighting us. This is the reality of politics. Come in, retain the commissioners that worked for me, let them work for you. You will just be following instruction, shining.
Like a figurehead.
Figurehead, the system is running for you. You just be taking glory and shining, commissioning things left and right. But the people who want to fight Wike will have died of BP to see him commissioning in Abuja, and the next week going to commission in Rivers State. Then the next week going to commission. So they gave him trouble in his state. That's politics. And Fubara was too politically naive. He's a good man. Nobody takes that. He's a good man. And he was chosen because of that. But he didn't know enough about politics, which is why they wanted to guide him for 2 years to gain ground. But that didn't happen.
Well, let me ask the question though. You know, Fubara defecting to the APC, do you think it was a bad idea from the onset? And do you think with all of this now, this has actually ended his political career?
Okay, so he didn't want to defect to the APC then, but he had to play a smart move then, which was pushed by another governor. I think Uzodimma. And when he got into APC, it was a completely new fight again for Wike. But you see, a man who has fought many battles and won becomes a fighter, becomes an expert at war. So he had to take Wike and presidency going full throttle battle of relevance. If you don't want me and don't need me, tell me, let me be going. But if you want me and need me, this cannot stand. And he was able to pull off his. See, because in projects, he's doing well in Abuja.
Yes.
In construction projects, stuff, he's doing very well in Abuja. In politics, he's brilliant. In legal matters, he's the best. I only know one barrister who is better than Wike in the whole of Nigeria in political war. One barrister. Okay? So you have somebody like that on your side in thinking and planning, because these battles are not today bad battles. Sometimes you have to win it 7 months before, when the opponent has not even seen your beginning moves, and then you trap them. It's like football, okay, or like chess. You trap the person long before the final checkmate. So Wike is good at that. He's loyal. He keeps to an agreement. Why would you want to throw Wike, if you are Tinubu, why would you throw Wike away for Fubara that has broken agreement 3 times?
I trust.
So and remember, the presidential election is not on the same day with the gubernatorial election. Who, if you had both of them and you are Tinubu, who would you back to support you on election day, knowing that his own election is 2 weeks after yours? So if you lose, he loses nothing. Who loses nothing if Tinubu loses in Rivers State? That should make you know who Tinubu has to back.
It appears the Wike element is stronger than some of us readily realize right now. But 2027 is obviously inching closer, all right? Again, we cycle back to the issue of Peter Obi and his newfound love, Rabiu Kwankwaso, right? There's the talk about Igbo presidency. It has been a jinx of some kind in Nigeria's political landscape. Do you see that jinx being about to be broken?
That's a very tough question on air, and I always like to be honest. I think the only person that I see becoming an Igbo president, I believe we'll have an Igbo president in 2039.
In 2039.
Yes.
Who is that person?
It's looking like Umba or Oti. Those are the people that I see that can be able to emerge in 2039. See, politics is a swing. When it is not going in your favor, you must support it to go where it should go.
Where it should go?
Where it should go. 2015, Power wanted to swing to the north. Goodluck was holding it to stay in the south. Tinubu joined forces with the strongest man in the north, Buhari, helped him win the party primaries that was a cash primaries for a man who didn't have cash.
It was a cash primary?
It was a cash primaries, crazy cash primaries. Kwankwaso was there, Atiku was there, Rochas was there. It was a cash primary. It was not, say Buhari, cash and votes backing. So Tinubu supported him. So when he won, Tinubu supported him for the full 8 years. Then when it was time for it to swing to the south, Tinubu told himself, so I'm here. So that's what I'm saying. Who is going to support this election staying in the south, and it's from the south, and it's not contesting? That's the kind of person that can benefit from it. That same person has to support it when it's going to the north in 2031. That's why I'm putting the figures there. Then when he does that, he cannot benefit for it when he swings back. Also, but I think before then, we may have a very strong youth movement, which is why I'm quiet with my words. We may see a guy who is right now 25 years old in the southeast, but begins to understand the political process and emerges in 2039.
Do you think Obi is overrated? There are people who are here say things like, well, Obi is not different from these regular politicians. Perhaps the only difference will be that he has perhaps been able to worm his way somehow, one way or another, into the heart of young people, largely. When you place Obi side by side the, if you like, conventional actors in the ring, are there factors or elements that distinguish between him and them?
Obi is a rare one in 100 years politician. Very rare. You see, Obi can go to a rally. Okay, politicians go to rallies. Obi goes to markets. Obi goes to churches. Obi goes to social gatherings. And he gets the crowd. You saw what happened in Ebonyi some days ago.
Right.
Okay, so he goes for generic love. He doesn't have political clout of political actors. There's no rally you will see Obi in, and you will see the people who are commissioners around him for his 8 years. They are not following him.
Why isn't that a problem? Should that not give Nigerians concern? If they so believe in you, yes, why aren't they flocking?
It gives politicians concern, but it gives the masses hope.
Why so?
They believe that if a person is honest, Obi was really tough when he was governor. When Obi is, and I'm not campaigning for him, you asked the question.
Right.
So when Obi is going to the filling station as a governor, when he's going in a convoy, his convoy will drive into the filling station. He must be in the car when you're buying fuel. So you will not come and tell him that you bought full tank. You'll be there when you buy fuel.
So he tracks the purchases.
So with that kind of person, the people who are around him never really financially benefited beyond their salaries.
As against the norm.
Yes, against the norm. So that makes him, why will I follow you again? When I followed you there, nothing.
No welfare.
Yes, no welfare. I know people, I don't want to say something, so I know people who have followed him to rally and he gave them 1.5. I'm not, and I'm trying to say this is good about him.
Perhaps for a sausage and a drink.
But this was like 8 years ago, so maybe to buy a little above sausage and a drink. So the fact, and then he's naturally frugal. The man is frugal. He hates to spend. Obasanjo came to his state as a governor. He offered him his house. Come and stay for dinner. I think I should spend for you to stay again. And we are heavily laden with debt. So he's an appeal to some people that a frugal person should get to the seat. He is good with the masses. But he's not wonderful with politicians. But now he's trying. He's trying to balance. But there's still a very big distrust between the Southeast and the core North because of the incidences that happened in the past.
Right.
So it's not easy to pull off for him. But he has that generic love of the people. But we also see why. Okay, look at his rallies. They were poor. If he does them now, they'll be far better. But in 2022, 2023, his rallies were very poor. They had to bring P-Square to rally. You don't do that in politics. You can't bring a P-Square. Because what you are saying is, you don't have enough normal crowds. You now have to bring singers and all of that.
Celebs.
Yes, and celebs. So those were the things that he did wrong. His rallies were not strong. So he now said, let's not do rallies. Let's go to market. And then when he went to the market, it became a cash cow. The crowds were crazy. So Obi wants a place in which I can survive the political structure to win a primaries without fight. Leave me with the masses, they will love me. And they already love me. And they love you.
And being frugal, you feel it's not a very big problem if you look at it, because everyone thinks he's tight hand in issues like that. And do you think it will not affect the economy in any way? I know we're in debt and all of that, but running of the economy, things moving smoothly and swiftly like how it was during President Goodluck Jonathan's era, do you think that's a problem in some sort of way?
Of course, it's also a problem. See, there are issues that bother me with an Obi presidency. That micromanaging. Yes, but we are heavily in debt. We need a person who's naturally not looking for ways to be extravagant. He runs from it like a plague, right? I've met him at the airport a few times. There's no crowd around him. Highest one person is holding his bag, moving with his bag. Airport people know Obi will not dash you 10 kobo, forget the rest.
He sits in economy.
It's just the way he sits in economy. It's just him, and this is not him forming. This is just the man, right? But and then he has been MD of a bank. We are not saying he's not brilliant.
Right.
He's super brilliant. He understands economy, but as a person, he lives simply. So that gives him a very strong allure for now. And this is still the time for a southern presidency. The thing is, will they not believe him that he will do one term? He has stopped mentioning one term. Obi, collect advice. He has stopped mentioning that one term. Because that's what the North is afraid of. They don't want a southerner that will come and do 8 years. And there's no once he gets there, there's no constitution that can stop him.
Right.
Except you change that.
But it says a man of his word. It will not renege on it.
No, I've never called Obi a man of his word. Obi is a man of opportunity, but he's a good man. He told you in Abga that if he leave Abga, something will happen to him and his family. He left Abga. From there, he has left PDP, he has left Labour Party, he has left ADC. So I'm not part of those calling him a man of his word. That is not his own strength. But the ability to be frugal, the appeal of the masses in the South and on social media. He's not very strong in the North, but he's speaking. I went to press my clothes yesterday, and the guy it was a Hausa guy, now shouted, Obi Kwankwasia, Obi Kwankwasia. So if there's a tolerance for him in the North, it will work out, but he has work to do.
Interesting. Okay, well, let's now turn to INEC, because no matter what all of these politicians and their respective political parties do in the final analysis, it is INEC that will conduct elections in 2027. Today we have seen politicians practically call for the resignation of Professor George Amupiton, the chairman of the commission. Is that a good place to be as a relatively young democracy?
I think the social media post really put him in bad light, whether it was true or not. The evidences to deny it were not strong enough to completely debunk it from the heart of people. But there are also people who are just waiting for blood in the water. And that this guy is a Yoruba guy, Tinubu is a Yoruba guy, so the guy has to go. But luckily for Tinubu, and I say a lot of things favor Tinubu, whether it's by luck or by long-term planning, there has never been an INEC chairman from the North Central. Never. So this is our first INEC chairman from the North Central. So the North Central is saying, we have never had a chairman. Now that we have, people are now saying that the chairman should go. He's not going anywhere. So Tinubu found a part of whoever planned that, found a part of the Yoruba clan that is also in the North Central and played that card. So constitutionally, you can't remove him. He has a right to be there. He's competent. He has a CV to be there. But truly, that tweet didn't really make things easier, and it was not clearly, fully debunked. In the heart of Nigerians, that question has not been fully answered.
In what ways do you see that shaping the perception of INEC going into the next round of general elections?
What I expected them to do is not just, they came out too quickly to debunk it, first of all. They should have called an independent panel. Pick one or two people that the people trust. Maybe ordinary president, SERAP, bring 3, 4, 5 agencies that people trust, and some good tech people to truly look at the matter. That will have allayed the fears of people. But if it's to remove him on the grounds that he's a Yoruba man from North Central, that's rubbish. He's a Nigerian, he's from a region that has not ever produced the INEC chair.
No, I think that those calls are basically on the strength of these same tweets from a few years ago that gives him off as somebody who is, as it were, has a partisan bias. I think that's the basis for
Yes, but what I'm saying is, how many, okay, now we have social media, we can backtrack to old past. How many people do we know that Jega supported in the past? Before he was.
But nobody has done that again.
Chairman. Yeah, I'm just saying. So, because this is a social media age, there's what you can use to track. But before now, how are you 100% sure that Jega was not on the side of another party, or Mahmood or Maurice Iwo? There's nothing to show for that. So it's just for us to get the technical aspects of this solved. The opposition have been running helter-skelter instead of facing these issues. I think when the election finally, once the primaries take place, I think we may still see protests on this towards the end. But for now, it will rest.
What lessons can we learn from previous elections that has happened in Nigeria that can actually reduce the tension of 2027 election that is upcoming?
This is a wonderful question. Let us put zoning in the constitution. See, if there's only one singular piece of the puzzle that we can put. Do you know how much we're spending on politicking? Usually elections and politicking picks up around 2.5 years. In Tinubu's government, from 6 months into the government, and bad government, it's been a crazy political, and politicking is expensive. I don't support looting, but it's part of why people try to stash cash for elections. The government and people keep looking for ways around it. If we put this, because we are highly divided as a people in regions and our tribes. That's why if you say Mama and Sally stole 33 billion now, some people will tell you, is he the only one that stole? Why? Because he's from a region and they will always cite their own. The same thing happens in the south. So once we are able to solve this zoning, I think every election will take place easy. The election between Buhari and Atiku was not this hard, right? To face. Rallies took place peacefully around the country. There was only 1 or 2 Basbos. CJN was removed because they said he showed up in an Atiku meeting in Dubai. That was the only standout issue we saw. We didn't see threats to life. There was no big drama, and even after the court cases fizzled out peacefully. It always happens when a northerner faces a northerner. It's not a do or die fight. But once it's a north and south fight, it wears me out because I see the people suffering. I see people suffering. Yes, there are people enjoying, but a large number of people are suffering. The government could have put more resources from politicking to be able to solve the major issues that we have on ground. I think one of these days we should talk about our refineries that are not working. Right. Our own refineries, we have to have audits for all the monies that, Power has done theirs now. Saleh Maman should be, they've jailed him for 75 years. Right. We need to press on the other people, but we also need to look at our refineries that we spent money for 20-something years and nothing has worked. We can't leave these things.
Incidentally, we have many governors who have left their various parties, especially the PDP, into the APC. Now, the APC is being run in such a way that you either decide to go for, adopt the consensus style, where that's not feasible, you turn to the alternative, which is primaries. There appears to be so much of tussle between governors and other political players across several states in this country today. Does that put the APC at a disadvantage of any kind in light of 2027?
Yeah, it has its advantages, but not so much. Remember I told you May 10th was a very major day in this country. The day in which you cannot defect to any other party and contest. You can defect.
So you're stuck.
And support, but you cannot defect and contest.
Contest, right.
So you have been trapped. Highest is that you come and negotiate something. See that you go to the opposition and support the opposition, but you will not emerge. Or stay in the ruling party that you are in, who you know have more positions to share if they remain in power. So the choice now is left to them. Should I leave, support the opposition, I won't be able to emerge, and I pray that the opposition wins? Or should I stay in the party that I'm in? When they win, I can get appointments or contracts. This is how politicians look at it. But they are aggrieved. Pantami was really, really mad that he couldn't pick the Gombe ticket. And some other states. But hello, you have not shown any body language that you are with the president for 2 or 3 years. Wow. And
so there's a price to pay for that.
Yes, it even surprises me that you think the APC will give you. You see, that's why I like El-Rufai, and I don't like him also. But I like him for the fact that anywhere he is, you will know he's here. He's going to be vocal. You know where he's going to stand. And if it costs him to be in jail, let it be. If it causes a fight, let it be. But you know where he stands. Not those who hide in shadows. You don't know where they are. They are fighting APC in the night, in the daytime, and they are with APC in the night, or they are with APC in the day. They are with ADC in the night. How do you expect them to give you gubernatorial ticket that way? So some of them already saw it coming, and they'll survive. They are not poor.
For me, I'm curious, how does internal politicking of political parties affect national development?
The brand of politics, and I keep saying it, the brand of politics we are playing is the greatest thing destroying Nigeria. Too much money and effort is going into trying to take power or trying to retain power, that there's very little resources for development. And this has to change. If I had the choice, we should remove power from the center. It's too being in politics in Nigeria is too attractive. I'm sorry to say, you see Okowa wants to go back to Senate. Obasaki went to pick form in ADC, if I'm right, in Benin. Oga, you have gone abroad already. What's bringing you back? This, you see, and I'm not trying to say on one side of the party. That's why I mentioned Kowa and the others. All the old hands want to now go to this Senate as their pension home. This doesn't go well for us Nasarawa State Governor said once he finishes his 2 tenures, he's going back abroad.
Right.
Then,
but it has changed now.
Last month, a 66-year-old man came to tell us that his parents convinced him to go for Senate. Are you not happy they are still alive? So there's an allure to being in power that makes people leave after being governor for 4 years or 8 years, and they want to be in Senate. What are you people looking for? That thing they are looking for, till we destroy that thing, we will not rest. They will always want to come back to the system where the system is feeding them, transporting them, guarding them for free all their life. This system is not sustainable. Something has to change.
Well, we hope that change happens as quickly as possible. But let's begin to wind down on the conversation now. Elections will happen all else equal, as already scheduled by INEC, right? But again, do you see loopholes in the Electoral Act, and in what ways do you think those will also play out in the election?
For now, I think they've locked a few things down. There was a few points that were mentioned last month by Igini.
Right.
The former rec.
Former rec, yes.
Those things need to be looked into urgently, and that's what we can say for now. Those things need to be looked into. We have not seen those documents. This is part of where I have problem with Nigeria. We don't get the details of these informations early enough so that we can critique it. And then the documents are full of many legal words. Britain has almost all its laws as verbal because there's a trust in those systems. Our politicians will sit with the law and look for one small loophole, and they will hold it in court. And our system is not good. Truly, to be honest, our system is not good. Our politics is killing us. We need to change all of that.
Well, like I said, we hope that change happens as quickly as possible. We would like to say a big thank you to you, Toba Awojaye, for coming on Global Morning today to share your thoughts with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm always glad to be here.
Thank you.
Well, that's what we're leaving it this morning on the program, everyone. We would like to remind you that the views of all of our guests across all of our programs are their opinions. I'm Uyi Agumofwebe.
And I am Jumai Manson. Thank you so much once again, Toba Awojaye, for being a part of the program. Have an amazing day ahead. And from Uyi and I, we say